Have you ever stood under the night sky, looked up at the stars and wondered if we are truly alone? If civilizations far more advanced than ours might be watching us, or maybe might have already been here? It's a fascinating thought, one that has captured human imagination for centuries. And when we look at some of the incredible mysteries of our world, one question keeps coming back again and again. Could it be that beings from beyond the earth played a part in shaping our history? Today we dive into one of the most captivating theories of all time. Did aliens build the pyramids of Egypt? It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but when we really start peeling back the layers, things get a lot more intriguing than you might expect. The Great Pyramid of Giza is a true wonder of the world. It has stood for over 4,500 years, resisting time, earthquakes, and countless human conflicts. It's so perfectly aligned with the cardinal points of the Earth, north, south, east, west, that even modern engineers struggle to replicate such precision. And it's not just about pointing in the right directions. The pyramid's base is almost perfectly level, with a margin of error of just a few millimeters. To achieve that kind of precision today, we would need advanced laser technology. Yet the ancient Egyptians, supposedly working with copper tools and basic mathematics, somehow managed it. Or did they? Imagine for a second, massive limestone blocks, some weighing over 50 tons, being cut, transported, and placed with mind-blowing accuracy. No cranes, no trucks, no computer-aided design programs. Just raw human effort, ropes, sledges, and a deep knowledge of the stars. At least that's the official story, but if you feel like something doesn't quite add up, you're not alone. Over the years, many researchers, historians, and even scientists have pointed out anomalies that the traditional narrative struggles to explain. Take the precision cutting of the stones. Some of the granite blocks inside the Great Pyramid are so finely cut that they seem to match the standards of modern machine tools. How could ancient workers, without steel or diamond-tipped saws, achieve such smooth and uniform surfaces? And then there's the question of logistics. How were thousands of workers coordinated to move millions of stones, each precisely placed, over a period of just a few decades? Now some say, well, it was just genius engineering and brute manpower. And maybe it was. But what if, just what if, there was another explanation? One that suggests humanity had a little help. One that opens the door to a bigger, wilder universe than we dare imagine. This idea isn't about dismissing the genius of the ancient Egyptians. On the contrary, it is about asking whether they themselves were recipients of knowledge from somewhere or someone else. Ancient texts, myths, and legends often speak of gods descending from the skies, beings with shining faces, powerful tools, and wisdom beyond human reach. Could these gods have been visitors from other worlds? Think about it. If an extraterrestrial civilization had visited Earth thousands of years ago, wouldn't they have left some sign behind? Something permanent, something massive, something built to last. Something like the pyramids. But before we jump into conclusions, let's slow down and really explore. Let's look at the facts, the theories, and the mysteries. Let's question everything, not with blind belief, but with open eyes and curious minds. Because in the end, it's not just about who built the pyramids. It's about who we are, where we come from, and whether we are truly alone in this vast, mysterious universe. Imagine yourself walking across the hot sands of the Giza Plateau thousands of years ago. In the distance, rising against the shimmering horizon, you see the gigantic, gleaming structure of the Great Pyramid. It's not weathered and crumbling like today, but smooth, with its casing stones reflecting the sunlight like a mirror. The structure seems almost unnatural, perfect in a way that nature rarely is. Imagine the awe it would inspire. And ask yourself, could ordinary humans, armed only with primitive tools, truly have accomplished this? Or does the answer lie somewhere among the stars? One of the first things that blows people's minds about the pyramids is how they are positioned. The three pyramids of Giza are aligned almost perfectly with the three stars of Orion's belt. Not just roughly, not just approximately. The alignment is so accurate that it suggests a deep astronomical knowledge, a knowledge that, according to traditional history, ancient Egyptians weren't supposed to have at that time. Orion was associated with Osiris, the Egyptian god of the afterlife. But could this association hint at something more? Some researchers suggest that Orion wasn't just a sacred symbol. It was a cosmic address, a message left in stone for future generations. There's also the mathematical genius hidden within the pyramid's design. The relationship between the pyramid's height and the perimeter of its base is almost exactly the same as the ratio between the radius and the circumference of a circle, what we know today as pi. But how? Pi wasn't officially calculated until thousands of years later. Are we really to believe that this was just a lucky accident? And there's more. When you divide the perimeter of the Great Pyramid by its height, you get a number very close to 2p. The pyramid's dimensions also encode the golden ratio, a number that appears in natural phenomena from the spirals of galaxies to the curves of seashells. Were the pyramid builders aware of these universal constants? And if they were, where did they get such knowledge? Mainstream archaeologists insist that no alien intervention was needed, that with enough workers and enough time, anything is possible. But even they admit there are mysteries they cannot fully explain. How were the stones moved across the desert? Some theories suggest wetting the sand in front of sledges, reducing friction. Others propose giant wooden machines or intricate ramps, but every theory has major flaws. No definitive evidence of massive ramps or wooden machines has ever been found at Giza. The puzzle remains, and then there are the ancient depictions themselves. Some hieroglyphs, especially in places like Abydos, show images that look shockingly modern, objects resembling helicopters, submarines, and flying saucers. Are these just coincidences, misinterpretations, or evidence that ancient people saw things, or beings, far beyond their time? When you really start to dig into it, it feels like the ancient world was a place of secrets and wonders, far deeper than our textbooks admit. Maybe the pyramids are more than just tombs. Maybe they're not tombs at all. After all, no mummies have ever been found inside the Great Pyramid, and the architecture of the interior is unlike any simple burial chamber. Narrow shafts point precisely to the stars, and the King S chamber resonates at specific frequencies, frequencies that some researchers believe could have been used for energy purposes. Could it be that the pyramids were part of a vast, ancient technology, maybe a form of communication, energy generation, or even something we can't yet understand? If so, the idea of extraterrestrial involvement doesn't seem so crazy after all. It's important to approach these ideas not with blind faith, but with curiosity. Questioning doesn't mean rejecting science or reason. It means pushing beyond the easy answers, daring to ask the big questions, even if they make us uncomfortable. That's how progress happens. That's how discoveries are made. In the next part of our journey, we'll dive even deeper into the theories, the evidence, and the ancient stories that suggest humanity's past may be far more incredible and far more connected to the stars than we ever imagined. Because if aliens really did help build the pyramids, what else might they have done? And what does that mean for our future? Imagine for a moment a different version of history, one where ancient civilizations were not isolated pockets of human development, but rather links in a chain connecting humanity to something much bigger, something cosmic. As we continue our journey into the mystery of the Egyptian pyramids, let's dive deeper into the stories, the anomalies, and the whispers from the past that hint at a forgotten chapter in our story, one that could include visitors from the stars. Many ancient cultures around the world, not just the Egyptians, speak of gods descending from the heavens. In Mesopotamia, they called them the Anunnaki, beings who came from the sky to teach humans agriculture, mathematics, and laws. In Mesoamerica, the Mayans and Aztecs told tales of feathered serpents like Quetzalcoatl, who came from the stars. In India, the ancient Vedic texts describe Vimanas, flying machines piloted by celestial beings. Why is this pattern so consistent? Across oceans, across continents, ancient civilizations that had no known contact with one another share a surprisingly similar theme: beings from above who brought knowledge and power. If we consider these stories not as mere myths, but as echoes of real encounters, it changes everything. Suddenly, the building of the pyramids doesn't seem like such an isolated miracle. It becomes part of a larger, interconnected story of human history. a history where humanity was helped, nudged, or even guided by more advanced beings. Skeptics argue that humans are capable of incredible achievements when driven by religious fervor, ambition, and collective effort. And that's absolutely true. But the scale, precision, and astronomical knowledge embodied in the pyramids still beg the question: how did this level of sophistication appear so early, seemingly without precedent? No clear records, no blueprints, no earlier prototypes. It's as if the knowledge just arrived, fully formed. Let's talk about the sheer effort required. Some estimates suggest that the Great Pyramid is made of over 2 million blocks, each weighing between 2 and 70 tons. To complete the pyramid within the widely accepted 20-year time frame, workers would have had to place one block every 2 minutes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without stopping. No coffee breaks, no mechanical cranes, and each block not just placed but perfectly aligned, set at precise angles, ensuring the entire structure pointed flawlessly to the true north, a feat even modern builders struggle with. And it's not just about size. The Great Pyramid was originally covered in polished white limestone known as casing stones. These stones reflected sunlight so intensely that the pyramid would have shone like a giant mirror, visible from miles away. Imagine seeing that from the sky, a brilliant beacon against the desert sands. Was this a coincidence, or was it a signal meant to be seen from above? Another fascinating clue lies beneath the pyramid itself. Beneath the Giza Plateau is a labyrinth of underground tunnels and chambers, some still unexplored. What were they for? Storage? Secret rituals? Energy production? Some researchers suggest that the pyramid wasn't a tomb at all, but a machine, possibly a power plant. The idea sounds crazy until you look at the evidence. The King's chamber is made of granite, a material rich in quartz, which is known to generate piezoelectricity when subjected to pressure. Narrow shafts lead outward, not intended for human access, but perhaps designed to channel energy. Was the Great Pyramid tapping into the Earth's natural frequencies, creating power, or communicating with the stars? Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The pyramids are not isolated phenomena. Across the globe, ancient sites like Stonehenge, Teotihuacan, and Machu Picchu show evidence of advanced astronomical knowledge, perfect alignments with solstices, equinoxes, and star constellations. Could it be that a once global understanding of the cosmos existed, possibly seeded by an external intelligence? And if you think about it, the idea of ancient contact isn't really so far-fetched. Our own civilization, in just a few hundred years, has gone from horse-drawn carts to exploring Mars. If another civilization had a million-year head start, their technology would be beyond anything we could comprehend. For them, visiting a young planet like Earth would be as simple as us visiting a remote island. But if extraterrestrials did visit Earth, why would they help build pyramids? What would be the purpose? Some theorists suggest the pyramids served multiple functions. They could have been beacons, markers for interstellar navigation, visible from space. They could have been energy hubs using Earth's natural vibrations to generate power. Or they could have been cultural seeding points, helping primitive humans leap forward in knowledge and consciousness. Of course, not everyone agrees. Mainstream historians argue that there's no direct evidence of alien involvement, no spaceships, no alien skeletons. But think about it. Would an advanced civilization leave obvious traces? If they wanted to influence humanity subtly, to push us toward growth without dominating us, wouldn't they leave behind tools, not trophies? It is worth noting how many ancient cultures emphasize knowledge being a gift from the gods, not something discovered, but something given. From mathematics to agriculture to architecture, this pattern repeats, and sometimes knowledge comes too suddenly, too perfectly, to seem like a natural evolution. Even today, new discoveries continue to challenge the official narrative. In 2020, archaeologists found a massive hidden void inside the Great Pyramid, using cosmic ray imaging, a space so large it could hold a passenger airplane. What's in there? We still don't know. But it reminds us that the pyramids are still guarding their secrets thousands of years later. As we peel back the layers, the mystery deepens. The Great Pyramid and its sisters at Giza are not just tombs. They are riddles in stone, messages from a distant past, or perhaps from a distant world. Whether they were built by human hands alone or with a little help from beyond the stars, they continue to inspire awe, wonder, and endless questions. Because when you stand before the pyramids, you feel it, that sense of something greater, something beyond simple human effort, an echo of a forgotten connection, a whisper from the cosmos. And if we listen carefully, maybe, just maybe, we'll hear what they have been trying to tell us all along. As we move deeper into the heart of this mystery, it's important to ask not just how the pyramids could have been built with alien help, but why it matters. Why should we even care whether ancient humans had assistance from beyond the stars? The answer touches something fundamental in all of us, the need to understand who we are, where we come from, and whether we are truly alone. Imagine if even one part of this theory were true. It would mean that humanity's story is not isolated to Earth alone. It would mean that civilizations out there took an interest in us, cared enough to reach out across the stars, maybe to guide, to teach, or perhaps to prepare us for something much bigger. It suggests that we are part of a cosmic family, connected by more than just the vastness of space. Some scientists believe in a theory called directed panspermia, which suggests that life on Earth may have been seeded intentionally by an advanced civilization. If you extend that idea, maybe those same beings didn't just start life here. Maybe they continued to nurture it, steering early humanity toward the extraordinary. And maybe, just maybe, the pyramids were part of that plan. But let's not jump ahead too fast. Let's stay grounded and look at more clues. In ancient Egyptian art, we often see images of strange beings with elongated heads, large eyes, and other features that don't seem entirely human. Mainstream historians say these depictions are symbolic, representing gods or pharaohs in stylized ways. But what if some of these images are based on real encounters? Some skulls with elongated shapes have been found, not only in Egypt but in Peru and other parts of the world. Coincidence? Or could they be remnants of visitors or hybrids blending into early human societies? There's also the question of technology lost to time. Some ancient legends speak of a lost technology, abilities that humanity once had but somehow forgot. Vibrational technology, sound levitation, tools that could cut stone like butter. Could such technology have been a gift from advanced beings? And could the pyramids have been built using knowledge that has since slipped through our fingers? It's easy to dismiss these ideas as fantasy. After all, our modern mindset teaches us to trust only what we can see and measure. But throughout history, the greatest leaps forward often came from those who dared to imagine the impossible. Electricity, airplanes, landing on the moon, all these things once seemed crazy. Today they are part of everyday life. So what if the ancient Egyptians, in their wisdom, were not alone? What if they were working with, or learning from, visitors who understood the secrets of the universe in ways we are only now beginning to glimpse? Consider also the mysterious energy properties of the Great Pyramid. Studies have shown that its shape can focus electromagnetic energy, not in a symbolic way, but physically, measurably. The very geometry of the pyramid seems to interact with the Earth's natural energy fields. Why would an ancient civilization, with supposedly no knowledge of electricity, build a structure that manipulates electromagnetic forces? Was it an accident or design? And then there's the mystery of the missing capstone. Historical records and ancient stories suggest that the Great Pyramid once had a capstone, possibly made of gold or a crystal-like material. Such a capstone could have acted as an energy amplifier or transmitter. Without it, the pyramid we see today might just be a shadow of its former self, a silent giant whose true power is dormant. If the pyramid was once an active device, capable of generating or transmitting energy, it would make sense for its builders to be far more advanced than we give them credit for. Whether human or alien, they understood the principles of resonance, vibration, and the invisible forces that flow through the Earth and the cosmos. This brings us to another crucial question. Where did that knowledge go? Why don't we have records of it? Maybe we do, hidden in symbols, myths, and legends waiting to be decoded. Or maybe catastrophic events, like great floods or wars, wiped out ancient knowledge, forcing humanity to start over from scratch. It's humbling to think that we might be the survivors of a much older, much grander story. A story that connects Earth to the stars. And maybe, just maybe, the pyramids are the last standing chapters of that ancient cosmic tale. When we look at them not just as tombs, but as beacons, as messages, everything changes. The alignment with Orion's belt, the mathematical precision, the energy interactions, they all point toward a deeper purpose. A purpose that wasn't about death, but about life, about connection, about remembering who we are and where we come from. Perhaps that's why the pyramids have endured for so long. They weren't just built to survive the ages. They were built to keep calling out across time, whispering to anyone curious enough to listen, daring enough to imagine. And now, standing at the edge of understanding, we must ask ourselves, are we ready to hear their message? Are we brave enough to look beyond the accepted narratives and see a bigger picture? A picture where humanity is part of a universal story, and the pyramids are the keys left behind to unlock it. Because if we are willing to open our minds, to consider the possibilities without fear, then the journey is only just beginning. And who knows what other secrets lie waiting hidden in plain sight, ready to be discovered when we finally remember that the universe has always been speaking to us, through the stones, the stars and the dreams of ancient civilizations who looked up at the same sky and wondered the same thing we wonder today. Are we alone? If we take a step back and look at the wider pattern, something truly fascinating emerges. The pyramids of Egypt are not an isolated phenomenon. Around the world, scattered across different continents and separated by thousands of years, we find massive stone structures built with incredible precision and mysterious purposes. From the megalithic temples of Malta to the step pyramids of Mesoamerica, from Stonehenge in England to the gigantic statues of Easter Island, humanity seems to have been obsessed with building monuments that connect earth and sky. Could it be that the knowledge behind these structures came from a common source? A source not rooted in isolated cultural developments, but rather a global influence that touched ancient civilizations across the planet. If that's the case, the idea of extraterrestrial intervention begins to sound a lot less like wild speculation and a lot more like a plausible explanation. Let's return to the Giza Plateau for a moment. The three pyramids are aligned not only with Orion's ES belt, but also with astonishing mathematical and geographical precision. The Great Pyramid is positioned at the very center of Earth's landmass. It's aligned to true north with a tiny margin of error, a feat we would find difficult to reproduce today, even with GPS technology. How did the ancient Egyptians achieve such accuracy? And why was it so important? Maybe the answer lies not just in their desire to honor the gods or the dead, but in their attempt to leave a map, a message that could survive millennia. Perhaps they wanted to mark Earth's place in the cosmos, a kind of cosmic signature, an eternal reminder that humanity was never alone, and that someone was watching, guiding, teaching. This idea becomes even more compelling when we consider the ancient Egyptian obsession with the afterlife. Their belief that life continued beyond death wasn't just spiritual, it was cosmological. They believed that the soul traveled among the stars, particularly to Orion and the Milky Way. Could these beliefs have been rooted in real encounters with beings who came from the stars? Beings who taught them not just about building and agriculture, but about life, death, and the universe itself. Of course, mainstream historians argue that human imagination and ingenuity are more than enough to explain these wonders, and they are right to a point. Human beings are capable of astonishing creativity and achievement, but sometimes the gaps in our understanding are just too wide, the leaps too sudden, the knowledge too perfect. Maybe it wasn't about aliens building the pyramids themselves, but about sharing knowledge. Maybe ancient humans were capable of incredible things once they were given the right tools, the right push, and maybe the visitors knew that guiding from the shadows, without direct interference, was the best way to help humanity grow without losing its own identity. This idea is not about diminishing human achievement. It's about expanding our understanding of what human achievement could look like when combined with cosmic influence. It's about acknowledging that we may be part of something much larger, something beautiful and mysterious that transcends the simple narratives we've been taught. And if that's the case, then the pyramids are more than just stone monuments. They are gateways, not literal doors to another world, but symbolic ones, inviting us to look up, to dream bigger, to question everything we think we know. Because when we ask questions like, Did aliens build the pyramids? What we're really doing is refusing to accept easy answers. We're daring to imagine a universe where life is abundant, where civilizations rise and fall across the stars, and where Earth is not a lonely outpost, but part of a vibrant, interconnected cosmic community. And maybe, just maybe, the pyramids are still doing their job, still inspiring wonder, still whispering across time and space. Look beyond. Reach higher. Remember who you are. In the end, whether you believe in ancient aliens or see the pyramids as the pinnacle of human ingenuity, one thing is certain: they challenge us. They force us to confront the limits of our knowledge, the depths of our imagination, and the vast possibilities that await us when we dare to look beyond the surface. And maybe that's the greatest gift they could have given us. A mystery so profound that it keeps humanity forever reaching, forever questioning, forever growing. So the next time you see a picture of the Great Pyramid, or better yet, stand before it in person, take a moment to feel the weight of history, the pull of the stars, and the quiet voice inside you that says, there is more, so much more, because the truth is out there. And maybe, just maybe, it's been waiting for us to be ready. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Keep questioning, keep dreaming, and above all, keep looking up. The universe is vast, and the greatest discoveries are still ahead.